Welcome back to another entropy, or as Grumpy calls it, entropy video. This is going to be a very quick video. I am getting ready to leave for my trip. But by the time you see this, I should be a day or two into my trip, trying to spread a couple of these out so the YouTube algorithm doesn't get mad at me. So one thing that we needed to cover with ENTROPY Ashlars, this is going to be for ENTROPY Ashlars right now, is something that has been discussed for a couple of days in a row on the Discord, and it's something in the very, very, very important step. Very, if you didn't hear me the first 3 times, important step of what people are forgetting to do when they onboard their ENTROPY Ashlar. And then we're also going to briefly touch. I promise you I'm going to do a more full, thorough video when I get back from this trip and I got time. But we're going to do a very quick overview of the Jita deleter because a lot of y'all I'm getting more requests for a video about Jita deleter and getting deleted. People worried about losing getting kicked out the entropy project and their Ashlars becoming a brick. And I don't want to see that happen to nobody. So I kind of wanted to give a brief overview of what that's about and how to stay off that man's hit list. So let's get to it. So when you get your first ENTROPY Ashlar, and after you finish celebrating in the streets and everything like that, so I have 3 of them now. I have 2 more coming on their way, but you have the ENTROPY Ashlar app, depending on which phone you have. It's called ENTROPY or Ashlar Ignition, but it's very, very simple. One thing, first of all, is if you have multiple devices, you plug one in at a time. Okay, you have to plug one in at a time, let it sit for a couple of seconds so the Bluetooth gets engaged, and then you hit the provision device, you'll see it, and then you can add your wallet and your Wi-Fi, and then it's done. Then you're mining nothing. Congratulations, welcome to the club. However, some simple steps people forgetting, hey, it's not on the app, but if you have a second device, I have people who bought 5 using my code. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. But if you have 5 ENTROPY Ashlars, you're going to have to create 5 wallets. I find the easiest for this project is the Phantom wallet, because you can just hit plus for another account, plus for another account, plus for another account. If you want to get a little more advanced 2.0 stuff, I would say don't put all 5 of them under the same 12-word password. You use a different computer, a different device, create a whole new Phantom wallet, which will give you another set of 12 words. You can then import those 12 words onto your main computer or device and then create 2 or 3 more with that. But each ENTROPY Ashlar is going to need a separate wallet. But another key step that what people are missing is when you onboard that device and you wait, you let it run. I let mine run for about 5 minutes. You then go online to the Just Entropy console. Coming to the website, when you're pressing console, you are getting a pop-up for Phantom. And then you have to go into your Phantom wallet. And then you got to make sure you click on, if you have multiple accounts with this, you have to make sure that you click on the correct Entropy wallet that you have. Okay? Because if you don't, you're going to get this. Now, what happens is after that device is ran for about 5 or 10 minutes and you get the console, you need to check this. Have to make sure you're in the correct wallet that was paired with that. Don't mess this up. Take your time. There's plenty of nothing for everybody, but I'm being serious. Plenty of entropy going. Just take your time. Make sure the wallet that you provisioned with that Ashlar device matches on that console. You pull this up. You have to immediately claim this, because that is what's marrying your wallet, Entropy wallet, your Solana wallet, your Phantom wallet, using that to this Ashlar device. So I have people who are on my Discord or texting me asking me for help because, hey, I've been mining with my Ashlar for 5 days and all I got is 1,000. Well, did you claim it? No, I didn't want to claim it because I'm gonna get in trouble. No, you're not. Claiming from the console to your Phantom wallet is allowed whenever you want. Understanding that anything past 7 days, the first day if you're claiming for 7 days, it's a rolling 7 days, meaning if you wait to the eighth day here, whatever you mined on that first day before this window just got burned. I got people who are wondering, like, well, what if I wait 30 days? Is it only mining an average, or is it only mining the first, or burning the first day from the beginning, or whatever? Just look at it as a 7-day window. You always have 7 days in there. What I've been telling people to do, this is not financial advice. This is just what Grumpy does. This is what I've been telling everybody. If you got an Ashlar, what I've been doing is on the 8th day, I would like to pre-burn a little bit, lifetime burn a little bit, 1 day's worth. So I'm waiting 8 days to claim. And then on the 8th day again, I'm claiming. Then on the 8th day, I'm claiming. Therefore, I am building up a little bit of a burn, but I'm still claiming 7 days worth. Now, you have to get this 1,000 into that wallet. So then what you're then going to do is, then you're going to make sure you go, then you pull up your second Ashlar device if you're doing 2. This is for people who have 2 or 3 of them. When you're ready, you have to unplug the first. I'm going to tell you something else. One thing I learned to do also is take a little Sharpie, and on the bottom, if y'all can see that, I have a number 1. The one behind me right here, I'm a little 10 cube device that I have for powering all these ESP32s. I have one that has a number 2. The one on my work desk has a number 3. So that you can tell, I learned that the hard way with my ESP32s, you can then tell which one is which. So now you need to unplug number 1, then you plug in number 2, and then you go through the whole rigmarole again. You're going to go to your Entropy Ashlar ignition. You're going to get your new Phantom wallet. And I'm going to tell you what else I did is on my Phantom, I've been naming them Ashlar 1, which matches up with Ashlar 1. I have one called Ashlar 2, and it's Ashlar 2's wallet. Then I have one, guess what it's named? It's named, I'm just joking, it's named Ashlar 3. And that's for the Ashlar 3 one. So I made sure that I matched it up. So then you go to Ashlar 2's wallet, you go to console, I'm sorry, your Ashlars 2 gets married with the app. It can be on the same Wi-Fi. You limit it to 5 per household. And then you let it sit for about 4 or 5 minutes. Then you go to console, make sure that Phantom Ashlar 2 wallet is open. Then you go to console, and then you pull that 1,000 entropy over. Make sure y'all getting that done, because they're saying that there's a lot of people who are not did this step yet. You have to get this step done as soon as you do your Ashlar. Then, if you have a third Ashlar, guess what we're going to do? That's right. After we claimed, we're going to unplug the second one, keep the first one unplugged. We're going to plug in the third one. We're going to do the Entropy Ashlar app. Make sure you have your third Phantom wallet called what? That's right, class, Ashlar 3. And do that, wait 5 minutes, do your 1,000 claim, whatever. Then you can go back and plug the other 2 in. When you're done, if you bought 5 of them, like some people did with my code, you do that for all of them. But trust me when I tell you, even if you think you might purchase one later, write the number on it. Trust me, this thing has saved me so much, because they all look the same. I'm sure that if you want to analyze the FCC stuff on the bottom and try to figure out, which one goes to what, trust me, writing a number 1, matching with number 1 on the console, it's number 1. It makes life a lot easier. Now, to briefly talk about the Jeter deleter, ladies and gentlemen, nobody knows the true formula or identity of Jeter deleter. So before I go really into detail, I want to say, I've always told y'all, do as I say, not as I do. I give y'all sometimes some very good advice that I don't follow myself. And I got my own self in trouble by not following Grumpy's advice. And what happens on this one was, I told y'all I also purchase Entropy sometimes, and I'm going to do a full video on that at some point. But I purchase Entropy using like Jupiter or something like that. You can take USDC, Solana, even some other tokens, Helium or whatever like that, and you can swap that for Entropy. I even put buys in at very low prices. So if somebody goes and is greedy and goes and cheats and becomes a snake, sells a large amount of entropy and drops that price, I then pick it up at a low cost. I've always told y'all I would do another Solana wallet, call it entropy buying or entropy sales or something like that. I didn't do that. I got a second ESP device that I was always burning for the first several months, never touched it, and burned over 25 million entropy. But I was also using that one as my low purchase in stuff. Well, over the last couple of days or weeks, because I wanted to either put some money towards an Ashlar or I wanted to set up further purchases again. When I knew that price was getting up into the 7s and 8s, I would go and sell $20 here, $15 here, $20 here. Well, apparently Grumpy did that one too many times. And I actually got a little bit into some of my mined tokens. Not a lot, just a few of the mined tokens that I did. Because I have never sold until that point accidentally on any of my other entropy devices. I have never sold any entropy that I mined. So there's two different ways of looking at this. You have a second law requirement that says, hey, if you try to sell anything, we're going to pretend like jitter delete, don't delete. It's kind of two separate things, and even I'm confused a little bit to a point. But if you go and you sell, say, 400,000 entropy for $20, you also have to go and burn 400,000 entropy, and then you will see something that says, like second law requirement of what you need to burn. It then eventually goes into the burn side. That's why I tell y'all to pre-burn, because then you kind of already gotten a head start a little bit of burning. But if you burn, again, listen, this project is all about long term. You don't get into this project to sell. This isn't another project where you're using a D-pin and you're going to sell that, every other drop or something like that every 3-4 days. This is not that project. I'm talking about if you're mining, I'm talking about possibly selling $10 or $20 weeks and weeks and weeks, if not months from now. So if you think you got this Ashlar miner and then a week later after 7 days that you're going to sell something, the jitter deleter is going to be knocking on your door. I'm being as frank with you. You knew that purchasing it, you had to check that box off and buying it at Helium Deploy, and people still didn't pay attention to that, didn't read the documents. And I'm telling you right now, give it another week or two, you can have people going crazy because why is my device not working? It's bricked, or the jitter deleter visited me. It's coming. But, looking at this, this is the total that I am required to have inside of my wallet. So when you take away this right here, this means that I basically have made 35 million entropy into this miner that this is. Because I didn't claim for the first several months. I didn't start claiming until we had to do the pre-mint of the NFTs. And that's that's when Professor and them said, look, quit with the burning, just run it like a regular device. You don't need to burn this much anymore. We appreciate it, but run it like a normal device. No problem. So I burned. When you burn it, the JD requirement doesn't get affected. It goes to here. But this is what I have made and then claimed. But right now I have like 9 million in my wallet. So I'm like 1 million short. So my score for the jitter deleter is a 0.9 something, 0.0, there it is, 0.0936 is what my score is. Jitter deleter needs to see something, 0's bad or 1's good. 1 means I have never, ever sold. So as you can see, my requirement is 10. Now, when you look at like one of my other ones, you see my score is 1 because I have never sold, even though I burned and I've claimed. This is what I've claimed in the lifetime of this. This is what I burned. And these two numbers put together is this. If I have a 1.0, I'm getting 100%, and eventually, don't quote me on this, but eventually I think it's even more with like a little bit of a bonus. But this, I'm not going to get 100% mining on this one because I'm under. So I either need to go and buy more entropy, which I do have a sale in. I'm going to buy in. If it drops a certain price, I will buy that. But until I can get my wallet up to here, which this wallet right now has 8.2 million entropy in it. So I am, 1.8 short, 1.81 maybe short, something like that. So if I eventually purchase that 1.8 back, then I'll get back to this score. At some point, when if this score would get low enough, eventually to zero, I'm gonna get deleted. But another thing is, I don't want people to think that they can go and burn it and sell everything, and clean out their wallet. Hey, I pre-burned 2 million, but I'm also gonna sell 1 million and clean my wallet out to almost zero. It don't work like that. You have to have a significant chunk of your rewards in here. The Jeter Delete is looking for that also, because it doesn't look like you're supporting the project if you just gonna keep selling and selling and selling. So that's something that y'all need to be aware of also. So here is my first Ashlar miner. My first Ashlar miner has 951,000 tokens. I have never touched it since the day it was hooked up as the first Ashlar. This was purchased a day before they went on sale, because I had a deep undercover operative that went to the Solana store in New York, which I do when I try to go pass by, just so I can take a picture and say, hey, what's up? Not to anybody special, but I am planning on trying to pass by. I can figure out what the hell it is. I've never been to New York in my life on this trip. But yeah, I'm supposed to be leaving in like 10, 15 minutes for my 20-hour road trip to New York and Washington, D.C. and everything else. I'm here making videos for y'all. So don't say I'm not dedicated. You can see right here, 951,743 is the requirement. 951,96,000 is what's in my wallet. So I have a score ranking of 1.0. I have burned, like I was telling y'all, I'm burning 761,000 burnt, because every 8th day, or if I forget about it, might have been the 9th day, I can't remember. But when you look at what I burned and what's in that wallet, so technically, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, technically, you could sell 100,000, 150,000 and not get in trouble, because, you have to make sure that you have at least this much in your wallet. You have to make sure you have as much. Again, that is so you don't get in trouble with the project. That's not included Jeter Deleter. What I'm trying to tell y'all is, I have 951,000. If I went right now and sold, let me get a calculator out, and I have 951,000 tokens minus, and I have to have at least 190,000 in my wallet. Before the Jeter Deleter existed, I could technically sell 760,000 and still be okay with the project. But the Jeter Deleter algorithm has come in now. If I sold that much and only had 190,000, that's me selling 80-90% of my wallet. It doesn't look like I'm a chair. It doesn't look like I'm here to support the project. And I'm gonna get deleted. So y'all understand? Probably not. I know I'm not going to, this is why I didn't really want to do as full videos, because I know I'm not going to explain it right. And I'm probably going to confuse the hell out of y'all more. The safest thing is, don't touch it. Every 8 days you claim it, and then you wait for the next version of Entropy. We know Entropy A is only the first version with us with miners, and we know there are plans for this project in the future, and you just save. The people who just feel like, oh my God, I have to get something out this project, because if not, like, I'm never going to get ROI and stuff like that. After maybe, I even hate to say a month, because like me, I'm not touching this right now. This is, I'm not touching this right now. Maybe a month, maybe a month and a half. If you want to go sell $10 a week or something like that, to slowly get a little bit of your entropy back, maybe to try to ROI, wait 2 months and then do $20 a week or something like that, maybe in $5 increments or something like that, 2-3 times a week. That would be a lot better. But again, you're going to start hurting your score, and make sure you understand that at any point, it doesn't matter if you have 1 million already burned and your second loan requirement's really low, and you could, and you've never sold. It's you, as soon as you start selling a little bit, it's going to drop this score, and then you're not going to get the full rewards. Make sure you understand that. So again, it's not like some other projects. I don't want to take the time to go into some other projects, how they're doing it. But if you'll watch my live last Thursday, even though I didn't want to, I mentioned another project that I'm really kind of on pause with right now, because I thought I was doing some action with it, which I assumed, which was my fault. I assumed I was doing it supporting that project. And they made it very clear that they're not Entropy. With Entropy, they wanted you to use your Entropy tokens to get the NFTs. Because, hey, it was burning through the Entropy, and it was not requiring us to actually pay money out of pocket for our NFTs. This project, I thought I was doing a good thing by using that token, and then come to find out it wasn't like that. And now I have to burn 4 times the amount. They have a 4-to-1 burn ratio, and that's never going to happen. Never going to happen. So, but that's my own fault for not understanding the rules. I don't blame anybody but myself, and that's why I've never really bashed them, because I didn't understand the rules. But they have a 4-to-1 burn ratio, so sure there's other people in that same predicament. I hope y'all got a little bit out this. I hope y'all understand at least the steps with these Ashlars, so that y'all can get those onboarded and right and get those working correctly. I got to finish getting packed for this trip I'm taking, and you know, there'll be some more videos when I get back. I'll be going for about a week, and you know, we'll see what happens with crypto while I'm going. I'll go pass by the Capitol. We're supposed to be doing a Capitol tour during the week, and White House and stuff like that. I'm pretty pumped up for that, and I'll make sure I see some senators and tell them to get on board with Entropy, and I'll tell them it's nothing, and I'll ask them if I can put an Ashlar on their desk. So thank y'all for watching. See y'all in the next video.